Welcome back, YouTubers, to my channel of an everyday encounter, the typical life of an Aspie. As you guys are fully aware, if you've been following my channel basically and subbing to my channel, that I have been based on these chapter blogs basically that I've been blogging to you all based on my book of the name title, hence the channel title of an everyday encounter, the typical life of an Aspie. As you're fully aware also though, however, some of them weren't in order and I'm hoping to reorder them basically. The next part of it that I missed out on was the AS with depression and anxiety basically, and as you were fully aware basically, I actually introduced you all some topics about depression, even though depression pretty much wasn't accounted for because obviously, you know, depression doesn't want to be discussed or talked about in this day and age of certain things because it's just a real dead topic, or not just a dead topic but a black topic to be touched and discussed on sort of thing. As you know, that the topics that I chose, titles I chose shall I say, based on this chapters of the AS with depression was basically the letter to my depression, you know, hiding under the mask pretty much of the depression with, you know, AS, and basically how we can overcome depression if we choose to, sort of thing. And no further ado though, in the next chapter series based on this one that's going to be under AS and mixed feelings is AS with depression and anxiety, which is pretty much the last one was covering basically the title called Can the World Stop Spinning? You know, this is all about social anxiety, how I work with social anxiety and the like pretty much sort of thing, as well as maybe many others out there that suffers from social anxiety pretty much also that can maybe agree with how I feel about it sort of thing. And all further ado though, before I run out of time basically, this is a letter called for my anxiety sort of thing, or shall I say my social anxiety, even though I forgot to add that in. But anyway, dear anxiety, do you remember the very first time we met? I sure as hell do. I remember the first time we met so clearly, and yet it may have been that many years ago. We met when I first started to try to make friends while moving and transitioning to one town or city to the next. The second time we met, however, we met after another year of season of change and transition change. That you became more apparent and showed up again unexpectedly while I was maturing and started out the dating scene at a young age. Anxiety, you do however tend to show up unannounced and unexpectedly when I just feel so comfortable and at ease with what I'm going through right now, or that I feel at home that's with something familiar, and you just want to turn my world upside down with it, of all the things that I knew in my world that I could control. Every day, every minute, every hour, I spent awake laying in bed of the some dark feeling sweeping over me and inside of me that will awaken you, however, in your deep darkest slumber. From there on in, you were almost like a friend and a companion of mine, and will at least follow me in my path of my everyday life, and trying to steal everything in my life that was of reach and at arm's length, and what it will may bring to me, out for me in the present and in the future. At first I was too blind and in oblivion, however, to what you were trying to do to me. And when I knew that my world was falling apart, spinning out of control, or even falling apart to the seams, as well as you created or sent me so many waves of emotions, pretty much like a roller coaster also we could say, of mixed feelings and emotions, being on a high 1 minute, being on the low, to the point where I couldn't breathe or even control myself, that I pretty much felt so overwhelmed, and I started to begin to hate you, social anxiety. I then also, however, began to start hating on myself, also blaming myself for these circumstances that came in the way basically, as well as also just blaming myself in general when things didn't go my way, when I thought in my world of order was in control, with me trying to control it. I hated you for ruining my life, in a sense, self-worth and more. The more hatred I began to feel for you, however, social anxiety, and towards you, the dark and heavier my heart began to feel. And then depression will come along and come and settle into my life and become a friend of mine also. The feelings I felt were so real and so mutual towards you that some days that I feel so strong and other days I may feel so weak. Sometimes, some days I may also feel to the point of basically I felt that I didn't want to live anymore, so therefore I'll turn off, shut down like a computer, shall we say, in my meltdown stages of emotions that you were bringing forth towards me. I would shut down to the point in my world that I just didn't want to know anyone, and just then give up and basically thought that everything I knew based in my world that just was out of reach, out of touch at that moment of time. I tend to pretty much close off, shut down, however, my thoughts and feelings towards things. Sometimes in that darkest hour of that given moment of you social anxiety, I gave you the permission to basically just rule my life at that moment of time, be it whatever it may be. So be it was, as I said, a friend of mine, as well as depression came in the mix to try and swoop me under and take me under with all these waves and emotions that was so overwhelming to the point where I was struggling to survive and keep afloat. I did, however, try to reach out to people who I loved and care about in my life. You know, people who would have supported me, be it people from my social circle or outside my social circle. Or even to the point of reaching out to the people who I thought that cared and loved me, even though they weren't there for me, basically. They made me there for the ride of the good times, not the bad times, when I was struggling with you social anxiety, when I first met you. I tried to reach out again once more to the ones I loved. And when I did, that the thought in their minds maybe to my perception at the moment of time was I was too hard, too complicated, too hard as in too hard to get along with, too hard to understand, didn't want to know me, so they pushed me aside just because I didn't fit to a status quo or to an image that they try to portray me to be, who I wasn't to be, while you were taking control of my life, however, social anxiety. These thoughts are more to what the people around me that were in my life for a shorter period of time, came for a season and a time, despite it all, through the struggles that I was facing through you, became so overwhelming for me, and that frustration I felt began to grow inside of me, as well as all these other feelings and emotions began to nurture and grow as well, and beginning to start to hard to tame and control. Despite everything, big or small, however, to what I was facing, anxiety, I want to say thank you. You taught me more than I will ever know right now. And you did, however, push me to some of the boundaries that needed to be pushed, that I did not want to push on my very own self for these boundaries. I then started to begin to learn more about myself as well, however, anxiety, as well as loving myself more and more, and to treat myself more with respect, and so much more that I was missing and craving for at that given moment of time. Yes, I am human. Anxiety, also, you pushed me to take a step to the unknown with baby steps, however, to remain true to myself, and to be positive, and to help me create a better and brighter future that is to come. As I've grown up and now becoming a strong, independent, young and confident woman, however, taking the first baby steps, as I said, to find out what I needed in my life at that moment. Yes, I'm still a student, however, who is self-teaching and self-learning in this walk of life. Despite it all, however, anxiety, you are still hovering over me and around me, as when I start to stress and panic, over deadlines, assignments and more. I know I'm not the only one, however, anxiety, that would be pushing herself to go further and to move on forward, to not look back. Yes, I have made mistakes and am not proud of them in the past. However, despite these mistakes and choices I've made, they are my life lessons, teaching me everything that I needed to know, and basically teaching me to the point now, from where I am standing right now, that it will create me to a person to who I'm becoming of the future. I want to thank you, anxiety, for waking me up all hours of the night, that despite it being a restless nights, that you started giving me the driving hunger and passion for following my dreams and goals in life. Despite also the sleepless nights, that you came and became a renewed being, soul and spirit of myself, filled with grace, humanity and more. Despite reaching and seeking out help, however, I knew that I wasn't alone and facing this demon, as many others were like me, facing this and going through the struggle too, however, anxiety. I knew, however, that there was support and help out there for me, yet I needed to find it out on my own terms and for myself. You also opened up my eyes and heart to accept my flaws and imperfections that I have, and am not ashamed for it, as this has made me for who and what I am today and now in the future. I have come to terms and realization that now I am the only one in control of my life, based on my everyday choices and my everyday journey and everything in and around it. I am also the one in control of my happiness, however, peace, self-worth and more. Thanks for letting me have a bit of time out, however, also where I could self-reflect to who are and will be in my social circle, and to deserve to still be in there despite it being a lonely road ahead of me of time. Anxiety, one more thing I would like to say to you right now is that despite all the years that you were there causing me so much pain, misery, grief, heartache and more, I now, however, have decided, despite the countless hours managing and dealing with you and trying to understand you, that, well, with all the ongoing fights and all that I've been through, I am proud to say that it was well worth it, and I wouldn't be the woman and who and what I am now today and in the near future. Thank you once again. Yours sincerely, looking into a brighter future. Well, that ends basically my Dear Social Anxiety, or just the Dear Anxiety, even though it's supposed to be the Dear Social Anxiety. But you guys got the drift pretty much on this letter, on what I'm expressing to you all based on my heart and thoughts when I was writing this down, sort of thing. Please like, comment, subscribe on this channel, basically. Give me the thumbs up for support, basically, to continue on my journey of this blogging, even though I find comfort in blogging, and hopefully that some of these messages that I'm sharing with you, or my encounterships of experiences of what I've been through, be it whatever it is, in the mix of these pre-diagnoses, as I'm saying to you all, as I'm breaking it down into certain parts, that maybe you can so relate to it. You know, private message me on my Facebook page, pretty much on AspieAnswersAll, pretty much, if you want pretty much a topic or just someone to talk to, sort of thing, because I'm here to support others and hopefully shed a light pretty much on others, that you're not alone facing certain struggles, sort of thing. It's not just from people like me with AS, however, that I'm hoping to address these issues. I know that everyday normal NTs might face certain things like what I'm saying about depression and all that like as well. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you all soon.